We're getting this clap down, man. Oh, did you get something in your eye?
I'm just starting to twitch already because of what you had said before we clicked, broadcast. So,
Yeah, for anybody who may be tuning in, my goal this entire episode is to get John just as fired up and angry. I want you to rage quit. I want you to rage quit in this episode. But anyway, are you ready to
great.
get started?
Great. I can't wait. That's why I decide to do this is to become annoyed and angry with you.
It
So,
gets your blood pressure, man. It gets you going. Lets you feel alive, right?
um,
Got to get
n-
going on things. Anyway, getting started. What do you think you have a harder time doing? Letting go of something old or starting something new?
I would say I have a harder time starting something new, but not necessarily doing it, but staying with it.
Oh, like you have a difficulty kind of establishing a new habit, like a new pattern in your life.
Yeah, I have no problem throwing away like old things. Actually, I would prefer it. There's very few things from my past that I have. You could probably count on two hands how many things I have that are from when I was a child.
I I don't really have many things from when I was a kid either. I tend to keep things and get attached to things just because that's what I like, and they usually stop making the things that I like. So like I kept my first truck for 18 years.
I mean,
Not because I didn't, just because it was like that's the truck that I liked. They didn't have another one that I wanted.
how long haven't you had that motorcycle for 20 years?
I've had my motorcycle since 2006 and I haven't ridden it in 5 years. And it's just sitting back behind my house. But someday, I'm going to ride it again. I would say that for me, I don't have much trouble starting something new. I'm all about new starts. I have more difficulty getting rid of something old or breaking an old habit.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with moving on from anything old. And actually, other than some addictive tendencies, I don't think there's even a lot of habits that I keep really. It's just that's always been my problem in life. I'm a jack of all trades, literally master of zero. But it pays not to be good at everything or even decent at everything because that doesn't do you any good.
Oh, yeah. I think that you can have people who are probably like a solid eight all around at everything and don't really get anywhere in life because of it. Like, it's way better to be really good at one thing than it is to be kind of good at a lot of things.
Yeah, if you could tell me you could be even like the best painter or best, I don't know, anything like that. I take that over being okay at 50 things if I could be great at one thing.
I would go out on a limb and say that no matter how minuscule of a thing that it is, like we've interviewed somebody that is the world champion of hobby horse riding who makes a living riding a hobby horse. If you're the best at anything, no matter what that thing is, you can take that pretty far. Even if it's like the best coder in the world. Well, I mean, you could probably do a lot with that with IT stuff. But like if you were the best Rubik's Cube player in the world, you can probably go pretty far with that.
To be fair, I do think for a little, there's a small ounce of me. I mean, hobby horse. I mean, if LeBron wanted to be the best hobby horse person, he could be. And that's no offense to the person we had on here, but I'm just saying some of those are pretty niche things.
You're tapping into a massive rant of mine. Can I give you my whole rant on sports?
I mean, you clearly said you wanted to annoy me this episode, so please rant away.
I I think that unless we're talking about football or basketball or probably a couple of other sports, anybody else who is the best at their sport isn't really the best at their sport. They're just happen to be the best person who is doing that at the time. Like if you're going to take something, BMX riding, if you took the people who are defensive backs in the NFL and they decided that they wanted to be BMX riders, they're going to be the best BMX riders in the world. So whenever somebody in a more obscure sport in my mind, says I'm the best in the world at it, you're probably not. You're the best in the world who's doing it. But if somebody who played football or basketball wanted to be doing that, they would be better than you. Skiing, whatever you want to, any sport you want to talk about, you take a guy who plays football or basketball, they would be better at that sport than you would be.
No, I don't think so. I'm
not sports don't have anything to do with athletic ability.
I'm not talking about like you and I, but I'm talking about like the top people, like hockey players. No way you put LeBron on skates and he's better than Sidney Crosby. Not even close.
Why would he not be? Why would he not be? He's bigger, faster, and stronger. So how would he be worse?
Listen, it's debatable if he would be faster on skates.
He's faster in real. I would be willing to bet you anything he's faster in real life. So how would a person who's more athletic somehow be worse than a person who's less athletic than them in a sport?
Because yes, you have to be an athlete in all sports, but some sports, as you know, athleticism is 80% of it, 60% of it. LeBron's not going to go be a world-class curler.
Okay, curling, I could give you that. You picked the one example that I would probably say is more like precision. But if you're talking about an athletic sport, something that relies on pure athleticism, he's going to be better than you.
LeBron, he's not going to step onto a soccer pitch and be the best athlete on the field.
Why? Because he doesn't have good lateral movement?
You put him in a baseball field, he might be the best athlete, but he's not hitting the ball.
He's got great strength and coordination. Like, he is a great athlete. Like, he has all of these intangibles. Like, why would he not be good? Like, Michael Jordan went and played professional baseball. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest, but it also didn't do it forever. Like, that shows you that a guy who's a professional athlete in basketball can basically just go into baseball whenever he wants to. Like, I'm just saying, they're the best athletes in the world. You're not. How are you going to beat somebody in a sport who is stronger, bigger, and faster?
Because
and oh no, that doesn't apply to this sport.
I think if it was that easy, then he would be doing it. There's only been 2 successful, at least American athletes that I can think of that have done the transition to sport that have been even entirely successful, and that's Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. And you could argue that they were top of the line, but they were never great at either sport.
But they didn't well, I think Bo Jackson probably would have been if he decided and didn't get hurt. Also, why is LeBron not doing it? Because he's making like $60 million a year. Why would he take a pay cut to just go play baseball?
You're gonna my blood pressure.
Yeah, he's right. I'm just telling you, man. I think that you can take, especially basketball players. They could probably do just about any other sport if they wanted to. Well, maybe the height gets in their way.
I disagree. They're not winning track and field events. They're not skiing at a world-class level. They're not bowling at a world-class level.
Mookie Betts is pretty good.
Okay, but put him on a professional tour and see what he does, where it's his job, and see what he does against other, the top-of-the-line bowlers.
I think that if you take most athletic sports, the best athlete is going to win. And the best athletes are in football and basketball. And if they decided that they wanted to go out there and be the best bobsledder in the world, probably going to be the best bobsledder in the world.
I disagree with you, especially this notion that anybody can play baseball. Yes, LeBron James might be the best athlete on the field, but he is not hitting a 90-mile-an-hour slider. He might nick it. He might foul 1 off out of 10, but there's no way he gets a hit. I'm sorry.
But you got to think about it like this, right? Like, why is the person who is getting the hit, why are they able to do it? Because of their athletic ability? So if you have somebody who's more athletic, why wouldn't they be better?
Because I think athleticness, it can transition or translate into many different things. Like, yes, LeBron's bigger, faster, stronger, but hitting a baseball is just natural. He may not have that. I don't know if he was a good baseball player. I could be wrong. Even if he was a great high school baseball player, he isn't going into the major leagues and hitting a home run off any pitcher in baseball.
I just disagree.
You put him on skates, he's not scoring 1 goal in an NHL hockey game.
But if he had all that practice, all that
Maybe.
time. Like, he's just, how are you going to beat somebody who's bigger, stronger, and faster than you? I think it comes down to that. But anyway, we could continue to go on forever, and John could continue to try to say that he's right, but we all know that he's wrong. I polled the audience about our big question. What do you have a harder time doing? Letting go of something old or starting something new? 74% said they have a harder time letting go of something old. 26% said they had a harder time starting something new. I think nostalgia is powerful, man. You get attached to things.
Well, and I think you and I are of the age of nostalgia, everywhere we look. But even as I'm getting older, I'm learning that like nostalgia is just another marketing tool to sell more things, and they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying not to buy into that every time something comes out from my childhood.
Oh man, like that's the whole thing now, is bringing back, because now like millennials have the money a little bit. Not that we have much money, but we're kind of coming into our own, and we're going to start to get stuff. It's going to be weird, the idea that millennials now will kind of be like, now millennials are going to be the managers and the senior managers and the CEOs of companies soon. Like, it's going to be our time, baby.
Great. Can't wait for that.
Right. There's one more disaster looming. Anyway, all right, let's move on.
All right, let's give some shout outs here. Let's see. We'll start with Andy February, Angelina Tarcoma, Lynn Coe. You're right. I do say it kind of very robotically. I'm going to try to do the last 7 here.
Yeah, it's like you've never seen the word before.
Natural.
But so, like, you're trying to enunciate, man. I get it.
Christopher Brewer, Johnny India. Is that better?
Not really.
I can do it like an announcer. Bob Amadeus. And now starting in shortstop, Ayub Alui.
Oh, is that really somebody's name? I like that name, Ayub Alui. I like that.
Lucas
Ayub
Pellissier, Jamie Phelan, Alexander Roberto, and we're going to end here with Connie Smith. Appreciate
Ooh, you
all
don't
of
see a lot of Connies.
Not much anymore,
name. No. That's a name that immediately dates you. Like, oh, that's not a young person. I would be surprised if Connie's under the age of 30.
Well, that's fair. I actually work with a Connie, and I've worked with other Connies. I actually know quite a bit of Connies or Constances.
I don't know if I know a single Connie. Connie Cola. That name is familiar to me, and I have no idea why.
It's clearly not a real name. So,
Connie Cola? Oh, it was somebody. I did used to work with somebody named Connie Cola. That's the only Connie I know.
All right. Well, let's. I want you to solve this debate because for whatever reason I've had this conversation with probably 6 people in the last week.
Okay.
What is the best style of pizza?
What do you mean style of pizza?
Like if you could have you could have one slice of any kind of pizza. What are you going with? New York, Detroit, Chicago?
Oh, Costco. Whatever kind of pizza Costco makes. I don't know about all these types like New York, Chicago, blah, blah, blah. Just give me pizza, man. What does Papa John's make? Or what does Pizza Hut make? That kind. I like a slightly thick crust. The regular pizza. The best kind of pizza is regular pizza. That's the kind of pizza that I like. Not any of these other kinds of like New York is better than Chicago, which is better than Detroit, which is better than Kansas City pizza. None of them are better than regular. Nobody cares about your specific style of pizza. And if you're pushing forward an agenda of a specific demographic location of pizza, you're just, bandwagoning. Or you're cheering for the home team. Right? Like, everybody who thinks New York style pizza is better is probably from New York.
Yeah,
no, Chicago. Where are you from? Chicago.
Definitely.
I'm from the heart of America. I'm from the heart of America in Kansas, and regular style pizza is the best kind of pizza.
What is Kansas known for?
Wheat,
Food-wise?
feeding America,
Yeah,
tornadoes,
sure.
Wizard of Oz, Bob Dole, Dwight D. Eisenhower. I think he ended the World War II. So, Maybe Harry Truman. I think Harry Truman's actually from Missouri, but
Jesus.
nonetheless.
All right, in this week's RIP part of the show, can we give a
Wait,
shout out?
which one are you pushing forward? What's your pizza?
Uh,
What's your favorite pizza?
I mean, I'm gonna give a bullshit answer. I mean, I can go. I have a favorite place for each. I have been eating a lot of New York style lately, which is unlike me, but Detroit and Chicago it's really bready, man. And as I get older, I don't want to eat 700 calories in one slice.
There's no such thing as Detroit style pizza.
Okay, see.
There isn't. There's New York and there's Chicago. Detroit is not in this conversation. I know that you guys want to try to butt your way into it. No, Detroit style. It's really good. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Nobody outside of Detroit has ever heard of Detroit style pizza.
Oh, that's fine.
Does it come with getting shot? You get a pizza and they shoot you in the leg? Is that Detroit style pizza? No one cares about Detroit style pizza except for people in Detroit.
You better be careful there, Mr. Seattle.
There's no we're not trying to class it up.
You're right. You're not. You're not at all.
It's Seattle style. What is it? It's exactly the same. We just, because it's in Seattle, we call it Seattle style.
I don't think Seattle is known for anything. Free Willy?
Fish, like a specific kind of food.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a Seattle dog, but
what is a Seattle dog?
I don't know. I haven't had it. I will tell you this. I've lived in a number of different cities. That sounds like a really DB thing to say, but I've lived in a number of different cities, and the one that had the best food was Tucson, Arizona. By far, not even a competition. What are you doing over there?
I can't get my camera to focus on my face.
Stop moving around.
I'm too jittery, man. I came across these energy drink things. I'm drinking like 5 of them a day, and I just can't stop moving.
What kind of energy drinks are you drinking? You got it right there? Please tell me you have it right there.
Yeah, can I do like ad placement, or is that like?
Yeah, sure.
It's Zoa's, the Rocks company.
Oh God, how many milligrams of caffeine is in that sucker?
Well, that's the problem. It doesn't say, and I haven't looked up how many.
You want me to?
Sure.
Okay, I'll look it up while you go on to the next thing.
No, I just wanted to give a shout out to in memorandum or not memorandum.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
How many have you had a day?
I mean, this is my 4th one today.
Oh my God, they've got 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Shit.
You've had 800 milligrams of caffeine today. I look at mine like I have 3 sodas a day, morning, midday, and towards the evening, and they have about 40 milligrams of caffeine in them each. So that's 120 for me for the day. And you're rocking 800 plus. Did you have a coffee?
No, I'm trying to get off coffee.
It's just not working. By going harder, that's like trying to get off of weed by doing heroin.
Yeah.
Not gonna work.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. Maybe that's why they don't put it on the can. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, dude. If they're not labeling something, that means there's a lot or none.
You ever seen what's that movie? Wolf of Wall Street? Boom, 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 boom.
Is that what your heart's doing?
I can feel it, man. It's just a boof.
Man, since I usually only have like a soda, which is about, like I said, 30 to 40, we have a coffee machine at work, and I just tried like this one thing, and I didn't realize how much caffeine was in coffee, and I was just walking around like I was a hummingbird just floating through the office.
Are you like the old man now at your work? I'm gonna try out the coffee machine.
I am. No, if I could, do you ever see those like freestyle soda machines where you can get like all kinds of different soda? You press the button and it changes, and they've got like 400 different varieties.
Sure.
I would be there all day trying every single one.
Just to see what tickles your fancy.
Just to see what it is, right? Like I'm going to try, I'll try 15 different flavors of Fanta.
Yeah, I'll try it.
You never know, man. It could be delicious.
Anyways, what were we even talking about? I feel like this episode is...
It's a little bit all over the place.
What I have written down here. Oh, Missy Houston or Sissy Houston
Who?
died today.
I don't even know who that is.
Whitney's mother, Sissy.
So, I
Oh,
mean,
I'm sorry that you
sorry,
don't
but
have
I'm like,
respect for
was
one
I
of.
supposed to know about that? Is she famous?
I mean, yes, and she also gave birth to one of the greatest musicians ever.
Her name is Sissy.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what she
Oh,
goes by.
Cissy. Sissy Houston. That'd be a hard name if you were a guy. Can you imagine if you were a guy and your nickname was Sissy? Like, what's your name? Sissy Shull. Like, oh, high school is not gonna be easy for you.
The alliteration itself would probably not be the greatest.
Sissy Shull. Sorry for Whitney Houston. Mother. People die all the time, man. Like, right? We can't stop the world every time.
Right. I mean, but it's become a thing now because people are dying so frequently. Like we're going through that part of our lives where all the people that our parents grew up admiring, watching, whatever, they're all dying off.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I wonder if really more celebrities are dying now than they have in the past, or if it's just that we actually know who the celebrities are now. That we're recognizing the names, being like, "Oh man, I know those. I've heard of that person."
Yeah, that's one I don't know if this is new, but I've never had it before. But I was at a restaurant and I was served by a robot. It was
What do you mean you were served by
like
an actual robot came out?
yeah, like
That's
came
kind of
over,
awesome.
said hello, gave us menus, we picked our food, brought us our food, even came back once and asked us if we wanted refills on our drinks.
Was it okay? But how was the robot service? What did you say? It's better or worse than a human?
I mean, obviously there was no personality there. My kids loved it. There was no personality there, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, if that's the future, I mean, obviously it isn't because you can't put all the service industry out of work. But man, it was okay. Well, I'm not against it.
I do find it really interesting that just within our lifetimes, I've gone from not really wanting to trust the computer or machines to I would rather trust a computer or a machine. 15, 20 years
Yeah.
ago, if somebody was like, let the computer do it, I'd be like, I don't trust those things. Now people are like, let the computer do it. I'd be like, no, let the computer do it. I don't trust the people.
This is just a random question I have for you.
You still got heartburn, dude?
Oh, it's terrible. And drinking 4 energy drinks a day, it's just
You gotta
tearing
get
my.
that under control, man. You gotta
Oh my gosh. So no one cares, and people probably don't realize this, but I tore my calf muscle back in May.
No.
And I
You
just
bring it up every episode.
I just started going back to the gym, and I did a half an hour of cardio, just did the elliptical, and I got off. And I'm gonna have to take a picture next time I do it. It was like a mountain. The swelling from my calf, went and just stopped at my ankle, and it was like there was a shelf. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, yeah, dude. You don't just go from 0 to 60. You probably should have done 5 minutes, seeing how that went. Then maybe tried 10. Not just you know what? It's my first day back in the gym. Let's go ahead and do max bench press, and I'm just going to sprint across the room.
Well, I am benching 405.
You got to warm up past the age of 30. No, not many people are. Not many people are these days. Do you have anything else?
Yeah. So, have you ever
okay.
gone to court to challenge a ticket?
No, I have not. Are you gonna go?
I will let you know. It's still a little ways out. It's about 2 weeks out, but I will let you know how that goes for me.
Well, okay. Well, give us the situation. What happened? What'd you get the ticket for? Why are you challenging it?
I got.
Ooh, let me be the judge. Let's do this. I'm the judge. You're making your case. Okay, let's practice.
Sure.
I'm the judge. You're making your case. I'm gonna be hard on you. I'm gonna come after you.
I apologize for everyone that's listening to this. Your Honor, I was pulled over for apparently doing a California roll through a stop sign. Though I had enough time to look at the officer in the eyes and then keep going. So clearly I had stopped a little bit. Oh, by the way, he was parked out in front of a good buddy of mine's house, of which I have doorbell camera video that shows that I did pretty much come to a stop. And then
Pretty much or did? Because pretty much is not did. So did you come to a stop or did you not? Because when I look at this video, am I going to see that you pretty much came to a stop or am I going to see that you did come to a stop?
So by Michigan law, and I'm not sure that you would even agree with this, you're supposed to come to a
Oh, you're insulting the judge. You're insulting the judge because he doesn't know Michigan law. That's what you're saying right now. You're going to tell the judge how you know Michigan law better than he does or she does.
That's not a complete stop for 2 seconds.
Okay.
I did not come to a complete stop for 2 seconds, but I stopped.
Case dismissed. Right to pay the ticket. You just admitted that you did it. You just admitted that you did it.
Sir or ma'am. Can we just go on to the second part?
No,
of this?
I have about 15,000 more of these cases today. You just said that you did not go ahead and come to a complete stop. There's video evidence that you talk about. The video evidence, you don't really seem to stop, so this case is going to go ahead and be thrown out.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Are you going to try to bring in video evidence that shows you kind of doing something? Like, you can see that I stopped. You didn't.
No,
like you lost. You lost. Don't fight the ticket. It's over for you.
The reason why I'm actually taking it to court is I'm not going to dispute that. Whatever, I did that. I deserve that ticket. But then I got wrote up for having an expired license plate. But it's because my birthday was like 4 days, after my plate expired. But you have a month in Michigan to renew your tags, so it's a legal plate. And the cop still wrote me a ticket, so that's why I'm gonna go fight that, because it's more expensive than the rolling through the stop sign ticket.
So, but that's the kind of thing that like the cops should know the law on that. Like,
well,
maybe you messed that up and you just don't realize it.
I'm not gonna say what city it is, and listen, I respect all law enforcement. Don't take it that way. I didn't give him a fit then, and I won't give him a fight if he shows up in court. But, it's an expensive ticket when, like I have a month
ticket.
About $200.
Okay. Do you have to take off work to go do it?
No, I have the first appointment or whatever at 8 a.m. in the morning. So the judge is going to be real happy.
What day of the week is it?
A Thursday, I think.
He might be more lenient on a Thursday. Monday they're not taking anything, and they don't want any of your mess, man. By Thursday they're like,
it is what it is. It's not a big deal, but I just it's a lot of money to pay for.
You got to fight the power, man.
Yeah,
it's not even about the money; it's about the principle of it. That you're right. You need to fight the power, but also don't come in there and be like, "Did you stop?" Well, kinda did. Well, kinda isn't doing it, so you lost that.
See, the problem is I work in the media, so I have relationships with like the court clerk. So when I called her and was like, "Hey," she's like, "Oh yeah, you're probably not getting out of that one. But if you are saying what you say you're saying, you might have a chance at the license plate one." So I'm like, "Oh, thanks. Well, sure."
Okay. All right. Well, fight the power, man.
I'll give you all an update in a few weeks. Let you know how I lost.
So. Well, make sure you drink at least like 5. Have like 5 energy drinks and go in there.
Just do I dress up? Do I wear a suit? Do I wear just blue jeans?
Like, go half and half. Suit top, shorts in the bottom.
Yeah, because that won't get me a fucking just.
And then show up and say you thought it was a Zoom. They thought it was a Zoom.
Speaking of, do you remember during the pandemic with the attorney with the cat eyes? He logged on with the cat filter.
Yeah, I do remember that. I am not a cat. Like, well, thanks for clarifying that. That was one of those things that like all of society just needs to laugh about, because that was pretty funny. Are you ready for our top 5, or you got something else there?
No, I'm ready. I don't. I need to get into a good place for this. So,
for people who aren't aware of this, John is a casual bandwagon wrestling fan.
Oh my God, that is.
He pretends to know what's going on. Occasionally, I will text him about wrestling things, and he never seems very excited. He never really wants to talk about it. So John is a casual wrestling fan. Don't expect too much of him. I'm not even sure if he knows much about wrestling. But we are doing the top 5 wrestling names of all time. Were you able to come up with 5 wrestlers? Casual fan, John.
First off,
John, casual.
I
wrestling
don't
fan,
respond
John?
back to you because you usually text me at like midnight because we have a 3-hour time difference, and all you're trying to do is poke the bear. So that's why I don't respond to anyone who's wondering.
Not a wrestling fan.
And yes, I have. It's
Casual.
hard to narrow it down to 5, but yes, I have a list.
All right, so top 5 wrestling names of all time. Who's your number 5?
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, okay. All right, I like Bam Bam Bigelow. I could see it. I could see it. I could see it.
Okay, what's your number?
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Okay,
You can't go wrong with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I have no idea what Brutus the Barber Beefcake does. I don't know what Brutus the Barber Beefcake looks like, but I know the name of Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
I mean, he was kind of a jobber, but definitely walked around with shears, and yeah, he was around for quite a while.
He was a big time name. He was a big name. Brutus. You can't go wrong. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Like, yeah, that's a great name. What's your number 4?
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
It's all right.
The Hammer?
Called the Hammer.
That's amazing.
There's a lot of people. It's not better than Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Just because, like you said, you don't know what the hell that means. Nobody does.
It's such a good wrestling name, though. Like the Hammer, the Anvil, even like the Rock. Like, it's okay.
Don't.
More. I want more creativity. Like Coco Beware, which is my number 4. Coco Beware is an amazing name. You got a problem with Coco Beware?
No, that's not one of the best names ever, but whatever.
Coco Beware is a great name.
I got to tell you, my list doesn't get more exciting because if you're a real wrestling fan, you know why my top 5 is what it is. But I'm excited to see what you're...
Right, if you're a real wrestling fan, you like names like Jared Carmichael. I think that's like an actual famous person. But like Jared Smith. Great wrestling name. That's exciting.
Anyways, my number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's a pretty good one. That's the only kind of like real name that I could go with. Like Steve. He made Steve cool. That's hard to do.
He did. He sure did.
That is not a name that... Steve is not a name that anybody expects to see like a real cool guy. Right? Do you know anybody who's like a real cool guy named Steve? Like always a little nerdy, a little dorky. That's a Steve.
No, I don't.
Right? Sorry, all Steves. It's not like Nick's a great one. I mean, I'm just saying, like every Steve I know is like a little nerdy and dorky.
I mean, it's better than Steve. So,
how do you feel? Do you think Steven is better than Steve? Who do you like more, Steve or Steven?
Steve.
Yeah, I like Steve more than Steven too, right? Because Steven is a Steve that takes his name too seriously. My number 3 is Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. Oh, Big Papa Pump. That's not a good name. You need a name like Brock. Brock.
You don't even know his last name.
What is it, Brock Lesnar? Like, that's a great wrestling name. You're going to have... Who are you more excited to see, Brock Lesnar or Big Papa Pump?
I mean, yes, Big Papa Pump. Yes.
Big Papa Pump. Wasn't his brother also named the Dog-Faced Gremlin?
Yes, he was. Rick Steiner.
Yeah, I know he was. I'm a real wrestling fan, not a casual like you. Have you
you
heard of WrestleMania?
I heard you so much. My number 2 is a tie. Guys from the same era. The Nature Boy and Macho Man.
Oh, okay. Okay, my number 2 is Gorilla Monsoon. That's amazing.
Oh,
You don't like Gorilla Monsoon?
No, I do. I love Gorilla Monsoon. He was amazing for the business, but...
Oh, I love Gorilla Monsoon. I think that's an incredible name. What's your number 1?
Man, I mean, it was so hard, but I'm going with a personal favorite of mine, Jake the Snake Roberts.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, because it transcends wrestling. How many times have you been like Jake the Snake or Jake from State Farm or like it's good. Like it just goes.
Yeah, none. I've never done that, but I don't really like snakes, so maybe that's my thing. My number one, I think, is really the best professional wrestling name of all time, which is Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's
Macho
good.
Man is the best. It's the best wrestling name, in
It's
my
I mean
opinion.
it's really number one could have been 15 different names. Like
I really thought about putting Gorilla Monsoon as number one, 'cause that's a great name.
my I mean my honorable mention is insane. I don't even want to go through all of them.
All right, well, just give me 10.
The Dynamite Kid,
Yeah,
Diamond Dallas Page,
a little bit better.
Rowdy Roddy Piper,
Yeah.
Kamala the Ugandan Giant.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It has to be descriptive so you know like what that person looks like. Like Brutus the Barber Beefcake is going to be somebody that's ripped out and probably a little crazy.
Yeah, just fucking crazy. The Big Boss Man,
Yeah, it's a good one.
the Ultimate Warrior,
Yeah.
Andre the Giant. And I'll end, man. Like I just have. So I'm trying to pick out like my favorite from the list that I had written down. So I'll end here on Haystacks Calhoun.
That's pretty good. I like that one. You know what one that really we should have put in there that I just now thought of is Sergeant Slaughter.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. I forgot entirely about Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I mean, you could put the Iron Sheik in there. I mean,
That's
you
a
could
good one
put-
too.
I mean, the Undertaker.
Yeah. The Undertaker. The other ones that I have on there are Mr. Perfect.
Ooh, that's R.I.P. Good one. Good one.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah, he died like 20 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, this guy, like, it was a good name. I think that he was pretty much been documented as quite the terrible person. But Jimmy Superfly Snuka,
I mean, if anyone knows anything about wrestling, Vince McMahon. They're all pretty terrible people.
yeah, they do seem to be all that documentary is like, oh wait, they're all kind of terrible, or at least the
Yeah.
promoters all seem like they're a little bit terrible. Um, who else did I have? No, that was it. That was it. I don't like. I thought about Ultimate Warrior, but then it like, oh yeah, that's okay. Bret the
It,
Hitman Hart's pretty good too.
yeah, I mean, you got to separate the character from the name. That's what makes a great name.
Like Coco Beware.
Sure, because no one remembers him unless you're a real wrestling fan, which you are.
Right. I mean, I knew who Coco Beware was. You probably I don't even know. But did you know that not only do they have WrestleMania, they also have SummerSlam? Have you heard about SummerSlam?
You want me to rage quit because I'm getting pretty close.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it.